So this is basically what I would call the young white woman's guide to remaining radicalized, because everything about this, and this is an incredible little video, is designed to prevent women from actually enjoying the things they want to enjoy. And I feel really bad for these kinds of women who are constantly on sort of hyper-aware patrol about the things they want to do. So let's watch it and see the most dangerous alt-right rabbit holes for women.
If we don't want to lose young women to alt-right indoctrination in the same way we lost young men, we need to be very careful, cognizant, and critical of trends that can lead to the alt-right pipeline.
Okay, so you can imagine that these are deeply political things. I mean, they lost young men to the alt-right pipeline, as in young men went right-wing because the left is just selling them servitude. It's just selling them, be a serf, be our slave, be at the bottom of the pile and just work like a dog for no thanks, no sympathy, no privileges, no nothing, until eventually you can't take it anymore. And weirdly enough, that's not actually a very appealing recruitment strategy, and it's no surprise that, at least in America especially, young men just went hard right. It's like, no, screw this, we're voting Trump, and good for them.
Because while these things aren't inherently conservative, or dare I say, even fascist sometimes, they can be the starting point for a very slippery slope. So here are the top alt-right.
Isn't that amazing, right? So these things aren't conservative or fascist, just in case you were wondering if that was where we were going with this. And yet, for some reason, they're just the first step on the road down to literally goose stepping around. And if there's one thing we don't want is young white women becoming fascists, because that would change things substantively. How? What would that do exactly? Well, her worry is that it will make women happy. I'm not even joking. I'm not advocating this, obviously. But her worry is that women will enjoy it and want to do it, and that will make them not be radical communists. And of course, if there's one thing she doesn't want to give up, it's communism. So let's watch what these are.
Right, rabbit holes for women that I think we need to be cognizant of and educate around. Clean beauty and clean eating.
Very fascist. Let's be fair, ladies. If you don't want to be poisoned by the big petrochemical industrial complex, first step towards fascism, you're basically a Nazi already. Come on, this is ridiculous, isn't it?
While opting for more natural ingredients in your skincare and food seems fairly harmless, you can quickly slide down the slope to the alt-right by engaging in content around distrust in regulatory bodies, anti-vax rhetoric, conspiracies around big pharma, and next thing you know, you think you're making America healthy again.
Oh no, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? Make America healthy again, says the ex-Democrat, working for the ex-Democrat who's currently the president. Like, sorry, you have to forgive me on this. You're like, right, no, I need to have my body polluted by big pharma, by people who, the giant, vast capitalist industrialist complex that is dedicated to extracting as much wealth from me in the most exploitative of manners, while pumping my face and my skin products and all this full of chemicals that achieve a goal but might be bad for me in the long run. And if you are concerned about that and you are resistant to that, that's the first step on becoming a conservative/fascist. Right. I actually think that these things might be a good thing in and of themselves, and even if they are conservative, that's okay. It means that being a conservative, something good and right and true and just lies in the realm of the right wing for women. Not for men. This is a men's problem. This is a women's problem. And the good things that you want for yourselves and for your bodies and for your health, they now lie in the right wing. And so, yeah, no, I understand why you want health, but it is a bit conservative. Shouldn't you be buying things from big pharma or big cosmetics or whatever? I, as a left-wing progressive woman, think you need to be basically kind of uncritical of the giant capitalist machine that's selling me the products that I'm wafting onto my face. I mean, that's a very peculiar thing, but I guess if it's that or become right-wing, become conservative, I guess you're just going to have to poison yourself just as people did in the past.
Trad wife content. While this starts off as romanticizing homemaking, this quickly can slide into a conversation about promoting very rigid gender norms, anti-feminism, and ideologies that contribute to Christian nationalism and white supremacy.
Amazing. So I'm not surprised that she finds trad wife content to be especially problematic, because it might make you want to be a housewife. It might make you think that fulfilling the traditional gender role of a woman is a bad thing, even though you're kind of drawn to it as a woman. And so naturally, I mean, like, obviously, that is, I guess she's completely correct. This isn't a right-wing concern. Yes, it is inherently right-wing to be traditional. I don't see what it's got to do with white supremacy. I don't see why, I mean, all women of all races, historically, have fulfilled what we call the woman's role, which is to be the homemaker and the person who deals with the things after the man has brought them home, right? The man, right from the earliest days, the man brings home a giant kill or something, and the women are the ones who deal with things. They're the ones who distribute things, and that's the men's job. That's why men pay child support now. It's the man's job to bring home resources, and it's the woman's job to distribute them, and somehow that's white supremacy? I don't really think so. I think it might just be traditional gender norms, so I guess we can just file this under conservative. But like I said, I can see why she's concerned about that.
Skinny talk and diet culture. While this starts as fitness routines and feeling your best, it's a slippery slope to assigning moral superiority to thinness, which then can slide pretty quickly into eugenics.
Into eugenics? So, right, okay. It is morally superior to be thin, right? It's just factually true. If you're concerned about people's health, I guess we've already thrown Make America Healthy Again under the bus as being fascist, but it is better under all circumstances to be of a normal weight than to be morbidly obese. Now, on the other side of that, it is of course bad to be anorexically thin. Obviously, that's not good for you. Having a normal diet that regulates your body weight to something approximating a healthy BMI is a good thing, categorically, under all circumstances. Being dramatically underweight is bad, being dramatically overweight is bad, and this is both a practical and moral judgment. How that gets to eugenics, I'm actually not very sure. Because eugenics is the science of, well, breeding for particular traits. But nobody is saying, or at least not that I've ever heard, that we should breed thin people and prevent fat people from breeding or anything like that. I mean, I've never heard this. I don't know where this arrives. I don't even think fascists want to do this. Although, I don't know, maybe they do. But it's certainly not the alt-right pipeline to take care of yourself and try to lose a bit of weight and stay in shape. And I don't think that's actually eugenics. However, imagine saying to women, look, I know you want to be thin and attractive, but have you considered that basically you're nearly a Nazi? Now, again, why are you stigmatizing the natural things that women want? I would like to be slim and beautiful, please, say women. Oh, okay. Well, I'm afraid you're not allowed. Or if you want that, that's an intrinsically right-wing thing. You should want just as much to be a massive, bloated whale whom nobody can stand to look at. Right? Why is your political position the normalization of that? Like, how is that good for women? How is that good for anyone? And that's the lowest, like, worst common denominator you could possibly ask for, is let's all be disgusting and fat. And the thing is, she obviously doesn't apply this standard to herself. She's not disgustingly fat. She obviously takes care of herself. Like, there's a thesis that much of leftist women's activism is about sabotaging other women. It's intrasexual competition. It's about making sure that they lose out on opportunities that these women are getting. And it's very interesting when you watch an attractive young woman who is a radical leftist, so herself, none of these categories apply to, say to other women, presumably who are not in the condition that she is in, and who might need to do the things that the right wing would suggest that would produce the results that would put them in the same category as her, say, no, you're not allowed to do that because that would be fascist. It's like, oh no, aren't you? I mean, you are blonde-haired, blue-eyed. I think she's blue-eyed. Like, just saying.
Homesteading and homeschooling. And listen, I have a carrot tattoo, so while gardening, being closer to our food sources, and taking a hands-on role in your child's education is great, it can quickly lead to mistrust in institutions. Overall, a mistrust in public schooling, like public schooling isn't good enough, just lead to classism, racism. I feel this is extra important because of the attacks on the Department of Education right now. This problem is just going to get worse.
Sorry. Has the Department of Education done such a good job? Is American education superb? What happened to that goddamn, I can't remember the name of the film, but there's a film clip where the students are talking to the professor, and the professor's like, America isn't the best country in the world, we're like 75th in education, we're 67th in life expectancy, blah, 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 blah. The Department of Education is part of that problem, isn't it? Like, education in America clearly has not got better since the Department of Education. And saying, well, they're acting like the Department of Education is not good enough. No kidding. Yeah, it seems like a terrible abomination that's destroying your educational standards, hence this woman, and saying, oh, well, this is classism and racism. It's like, okay, maybe an education is classism and racism, but it's also good to have an education. And again, it's like there's no trust in institutions. Sorry, when did we commit to an unflappable trust in the divine guidance and objective of the institutions? If the institutions are crap, we should be able to objectively be able to identify that by the metrics, which, let's be fair, judging by American education, I think we can do that. And I'm not saying anything about British education. It's no better, trust me. But judging by like the standard of American education these days, compared to if you go back 100 years and look at the test papers, both Britain and America, of the kind of questions that kids used to answer, you can see there's definitely been a decline. And I think a lot of it is down to this blind and wavering trust in the institutions. No, sorry, if the institutions suck, then I think that it's perfectly reasonable to say that they suck. If you're worried about the quality of your food, if you're worried about the quality of your education, you think, no, I could do a better job for my children, then, okay, that's anti-governmental, but why is left-wing women's philosophy incredibly pro-government? Like, treating the government like some sort of god, treating the institutions as if they are descended from heaven by the Lord on high himself. The God of the Israelites has given the 12 tablets. I can't remember how many tablets it was that he gave Moses. 2 tablets to Moses with the 10 commandments on it. And these commandments are, thou shalt establish the Department of Education. Thou shalt establish. Like, why are we acting like these are divine? They're not. They're crap. And if they're crap, they just need to be scrapped and remade. Something new can spring up in their position. And until that day, do it yourself if you can do it better. And I bet a lot of people can do it better.
New Age spirituality, tarot, crystals, all that kind of stuff. Make sure the people selling you your crystals I'm passionate about this. Make sure the people selling you your crystals aren't QAnon people.
Oh, I love it, right? Not that the crystal stuff is all nonsense. Obviously, crystals don't have magical properties or anything like this. No, that's all fine. Take that for granted. What you don't want is the person who believes this magical woo-woo to be someone who believes in QAnon as well, because there's a huge amount of overlap, apparently. Because QAnon, I mean, I don't even know what QAnon believe, to be honest. I can't mount defense of them or critique of them, because it's something about trusting a plan, but I don't know what the plan is. I don't know where the plans come from. And I just don't understand QAnon. But I mean, like, I've seen QAnon people online, and okay, they're a bit bonkers, but they don't seem evil. They don't seem like, they're not Nazis or something. You see them talking about the globalists, but rarely do they make that ethnic. You know what I mean?
Once I spent like $200 in a crystal store, and then I went home and looked at the shop and realized that she was like a great awakening weirdo. This is all anti-Semitic conspiracy whack job bullshit.
Where did that come from? QAnon is, I mean, again, I might be wrong, but as far as I've seen, QAnon isn't anti-Semitic. It's just kind of bonkers. So, and again, you don't want the anti-Semitic conspiracy whack job BS when you're buying your crystals. What you want is the progressive wacky conspiracy BS when you're buying your crystals to do whatever it is you do with crystals.
And it's rampant in the spirituality space. There's a lot more. I could do this all day, but last one, soft life living and like feminine energy. While there's some important conversations here around rejecting hustle culture and rest, this quickly leads to ideas about women needing to submit to their husband, back to these really traditional gender roles.
Amazing. So again, she's a very feminine woman, you can tell. So she's clearly not like, wearing her fingers to the bone or something. And women who are like, yeah, actually, I don't want to be competing with men because I'm not a man, and men are by nature better equipped for competition, especially when it comes to the tolerance for working long hours and grinding through things. A lot of women just don't, they're not up for that. And I totally understand why they wouldn't be up for that. A lot of men aren't up for that. I know that you wanted to knock off early on a Friday afternoon, but have you considered patriarchy? Have you considered that this is a gender role? And to be honest with you, ladies, I'd just be like, yeah, you know what it is, and I'm fine with it because I'm tired. I'd like to go home, have a nice bath, buy some of my natural, clean living bubble baths, enjoy a crystal healing therapy session, and let my husband worry about paying some bills or something. Seriously, like, look at what she's saying. You can't enjoy the things, and some of them silly, some of them fair enough. The silly things, as far as I'm concerned, as a man, though, like, you know, the things that women like, they're just little women's things. If you enjoy these things, well, you're on the road to becoming the patriarchy, fascism, alt-right, whatever it is. Because you've got to stay woke, you've got to stay radicalized, you've got to stay on the Democrat plantation where you literally worship the institutions, work all day, every day, and don't get the things you want. Trust me, as a woman who clearly does all of these things, trust me, if you've got to just not do them, or just be very critical when you do them, which honestly sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? You know, just live your lives, just enjoy yourselves. Don't worry about being radicalized into woke ideology as she's trying to keep you. Just be the person you want to be.